You are watching Revelations. We are the biggest spiritual platform. We help ourselves to learn here on this particular platform. My name is Maame Grace. I am Revelations. And today I am here with Papa Osofu KOFITSE AHADZIE. We are winning. We bring the best out of him. And he is education. He's learned, and I know you love him, and you will learn something when he sits on this set. Once again, I welcome you to the biggest spiritual platform. Papa Mema Wakwaba, I welcome you to Revelations platform. Papa,
thank you.
You are teaching us about other Asian Kemet or Egyptian Kemet. I don't know which one is correct. We want to know about the Kemet.
Thank you. I will talk about Kemet or Kema. There are those who think that anything pronounced in the original language of the world is a taboo to them. Especially in this our setting we call the country of Ghana. Unfortunately, people have assumed the status of being judges in linguistics. And when you see how appointments are going on now, you will see that one particular linguistic group is dominating virtually everything, which is not quite palatable. But when we come to look at the names of the kings of ancient Kemet, then you come to look at the invasions which occurred leading up to the Greco-Roman invasion. Then we have people we call judges, justices. And then the justices, when you go to the law school, you're going to learn what? You're going to learn Latin. They will be teaching you Latin. Say ceteris paribus and all these things in Latin. But then you ask yourself, where did they get the judicial languages from? Who were those who wrote the first laws? They tell you in the Christian philosophy or theory that Moses went and climbed the Sinai hill and went and took the 10 Commandments from God, who was in a burning bush, isn't it? And then the 10 Commandments, when you look in the 42 laws, 42 negative confessions of the ancient Kemetians, you will see that the 10 Commandments are all in there. In our society, we abhor violence. We abhor killings. In the ancient scripts, they told you, thou must not kill. And then it comes to the Christian Bible, they say, thou shalt not kill. They say anything which has been offered to the gods or the deities, don't go and take it. Whatever belongs to your neighbor belongs to your neighbor, not to you. So you have no right to go and take those ones. And there are 42 negative confessions. You have to confess that you will not do these things. When you do it, you must have your punishment. Now, what do we see today? They know that the thing they are going to do is not correct. They will do it. Then the ancient Kemetians captured all this information, and it was taken away to Turin. And they called it the Turin Judicial Papyrus. What has been written on the black man's land by the black man in the temples, they have taken all that one and presented as their own. So now you're going to learn law, you must go and learn someone else's language. You want to speak one law, you are going to make reference to some British judgment or something. What of your own? Have you taken care of what you have? God is not discriminated. The Creator never discriminated against anybody, apart from the black man who thinks that he has been discriminated against. The construction of airplane was done by the black man. But what did they tell us? They told us that Icarus brothers from Greece, they were those who waxed feathers to their arms and launched the world into the aviation age just 100 and something years ago. Then the Americans also came and said the Wright brothers were those who went and climbed some of the Rocky Mountains, waxed feathers to their arms, and launched the world into the aviation age some 100 and something years ago. Then they came again. The Italians came and said, Leonardo da Vinci was the first person to have flown an engine plane about 200 years ago. But then you go into the records and you will see that the ancient Cometians have flown wooden glider, flying in the wooden glider. Then they said they were flying in what? Yamavu, the vehicle which flies in the air. And that was about 2,000 years ago. You go to the Egyptian museum, you will see the sea-going vessel. And they call it Tojivu. Right? It's Tojivu because it moves on water. And they added the third one. Which is the third one? Transport system. You have the air. You have the water. You have a third one. The third one is the natural one. You will walk. Walking is the natural form of movement. Well, we have abandoned that one because we all want to be flying and be dancing in semicircles. As for motorbike, it is also a car, so you don't worry so much. But the three major forms, either you go by air, you go by water, or you go by foot. And our ancestors were footing. All the exodus, traveling and all this, they did on foot.
Why are they able to change all these things and we have accepted them?
Like I was asking you about the issue of so-called slave trading. When I come to your house and I'm holding AK-47, I say, oh, everything that you have, give it to me. Will you refuse?
The gun has power.
Okay.
Nobody wants to die.
Nobody wants to die, but you all want to go to heaven. But you can't go to heaven without dying.
I want to die in my own time, Papa.
Who gave you some time to die?
Everybody will die. Are we not going to die one day?
You say you want to die at your own time.
When my God-given time is...
God drew a timetable for you.
Papa, are we not going to die one day?
No, I'm asking you.
Papa, are you the host?
Oh, I'm the hostess. You see that there is this thing called the Oxyrhynchus papyrus. When immediately they talk about papyrus, you should know where it comes from. It comes from Khmer. Papyrus is a plant which grows in a flooding area. So when you move from the Abyssinian highlands and coming up to the delta, but before we reach there, see that we were talking about names. Then they call some place Mesopotamia. They call others Babylon. Babylon was a military camp. You know that one? And when those African Americans sang their song, by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat when we remembered Sion. Where are the rivers? They will tell you Tigris and Euphrates. two rivers merging into one to enter into the sea. He said that's the rivers of Babylon. But when you have 7 branches of a river entering into the sea, how will you call that one? That should be the true rivers of Babylon. And when you read the Romanus Pontifex, you will be seeing that the issue they are bringing up is coming close home to you. But you don't believe that one because you have been given some black book. Now we have some red colors of the book. Some are green and some... And they call that one the Holy Bible, which is supposed to contain the words of God. But only they can't tell you where they met God and he wrote that thing for them. Which type of pen that God used in writing, they won't tell you. So these British people went to the Southern River Valley and they found first Ptolemy Philadelphus II. They tell you when Ptolemy was being installed as the king of the Lower Egypt, they said he is being installed and he has become a king. He married a woman first. Then later on, he came and married his own biological sister. Why? He married his own biological sister who was Cleopatra the 7th. Cleopatra the 7th was the concubine of the late Julius Caesar. And she gave birth to a child for Julius Caesar, known then as Caesarus. After Julius Caesar was killed, she married Mark Antony, gave birth to 4 children. Then came and married their own brother. And they said it was in accordance with the culture of the place. And that culture of the place was that when you are born as a man and you have a woman following you, that is your wife. Right? In the Ewe language, they will tell you, I don't like the people who talk about paleo and all these things because I don't understand that English. In the Ewe language or culture, they will tell you that is your nosron, your mother's wife she has given to you.
Is it still happening?
No. Because we have been misdirected to think that that was a wrong thing. Then you go and marry somebody from outside somewhere, then the next moment blows. You throw blows. The woman will say, no, this time we are in a women's league, so I won't agree. I won't allow you to even go and have any concubine anywhere. But she cannot take all the thing.
What thing?
The rod of Moses.
Papa, which rod of Moses?
You want to know what thing?
Yes.
I have told you. Huh? What was the name of that Ghanaian musician? Or what is his name? A.B. Crescent. Yeah. Or? Was that not what he said?
I don't remember.
Oh, but you remember the name. Now they tell you that we will come to a more serious one about the origin of that thing you call the Bible. Where did they get the information from? I have already proven to you that Moses could not have written the Bible because at that time he was not there. Like one of our politicians here, you and I were not there. Moses too was not there. So Moses could not have written about things he hadn't seen. Agree? Now, they said that Ptolemy Philadelphus commissioned 72 or 70 intellectual Jews to transcribe the Torah. we have spoken about Afajato, and I've made you understand that the toe means heel, isn't it? Now, when you are telling me that there was a Torah, and we know that Ra is the sound energy, and a toe is a mountain or a hill, but since it is in a tonal language, a toe could be your ear. A toe could be passed this way. A toe could be your in-law. So you have all these interpretations of the T-O. When you have T-S-I, chi, is water. Chi is delayed. Chi equally means to put off some light or something. So you are having the tonal expression. Whatever the pitch of what you say will tell you a different meaning. So they said that Ptolemy Philadelphus got 70 intellectual Jews to come and sit in the great library of Alexandria and to capture or transcribe what their tutor, supposed to be Moses, taught them in the temples. And what name did they give to themselves? Ptolemy said they were the Septuagint, the 70 intellectual Jews. They were to transcribe what Moses had taught them. They first claimed that no manuscript was given to them. Then they said the Spirit of God went through the 70 cubicles, putting the same ideas into the heads of all these intellectuals. And so they also transcribed the same thing that the Spirit of God had taught them. And that gave us the Bible. Right? And the Bible has how many books? 66 books. Supposed to be 66. And you will see a crocodile. A crocodile will live for 66 years, lay 66 eggs every 10. Now, when these intellectual Jews, the 70 of them were kept there and they came out with their own translations of what Moses had taught them. What comes after that? There was no manuscript. But these British people went down 162 kilometers away from Alexandria, and they found the manuscripts which were used on a dunghill. As if that was not sufficient. I will show you a page. You see the page. See that nobody can bring this information out and claim it to be the truth. Now, let me take this Septuagint manuscript. Can you transcribe this thing? Or this one on a more serious note. Look at it. The papyrus. This was the Old Testament. How can you conjure information for those places which are missing? And when you take the New Testament too, you have certain portions which are missing. Then the British, when they went, they found the Osirinkus papyrus. And the Osirinkus papyrus was telling them that the manuscripts were found 162 kilometers away from where the things were supposed to be happening. So who carried the papyrus from Alexandria and brought it further down south? You should not be surprised that you have Lower Egypt on the delta of the Nile and Upper Egypt in the belly of the Nile. So the delta of the Nile, they call that place Tom. Either it is the ear, inside the ear, Now you have a Tashi down south. You have Nubia. You've heard of Nubia. Nubia simply means envy or jealousy. When you are jealous of somebody, oh, you are involved in enviness or Nubia. So you have Nubia up till today in the Nile Valley. You have a Sudan which has been changed into Sudan. And then the people of the south of Sudan are telling you that they are not part of the Arabic culture. And here we have reached. We are not seeing the truth about ourselves, but we allow other people to come and tell us what they think that God said to them. When I raise my two hands like this, what will be the meaning?
I have nothing.
Huh?
I have nothing.
Okay. No, not that you have nothing. This is the car. The symbol of the car. Now you have the car and the bar. And you have the Kaaba. It's a black rock. So we got out from this country and we flew a line and went down to Israel, to go and buy a rock to come and build a cathedral. Creating the impression that the creator of the universe lives in a house somewhere, which is a lie. If the creator of the universe is a spirit, and according to the book of the beginning, he is the spirit of all spirits, then you can't build a house for him or for her. There has been this discrimination against the women. Every time they say God is a man. But that is not correct. A man never gives birth. It's a woman who gives birth. A woman will take the fluid and keep it for 9 months and bring out bones and flesh and then the spirit. But now we give all the praises to the man. But the man does nothing.
You only have the stake.
Yes, and it stirs down there and brings out some fluid.
And that's all.
Yeah, he goes and comes back and crosses the leg and expecting, oh, you haven't cooked yet? What have you been doing all this time? Forgetting that they have to clean up the place, and when everything has been done, he has finished eating, Adwa will collect all the plates and wash them. Make sure the children go to sleep. Meanwhile, the man is happily sleeping, only waiting for the woman to come and receive the rod of Moses.
Oh, and receive the rod of Moses. I am here with Osofu KOFITSE AHADZIE, and we are talking about the Kemet, the Egyptian Kemet or the Asian Kemet. Papa, this
no, there is no ancient Kemet.
That's what I'm coming at. This thing, the Kemet thing we are talking about,
yes,
it's very important to Africans.
Okay.
Very important because
are Africans prepared to know their origin?
That's what I'm coming to ask you.
Okay.
How they are talking about it, especially when you go to South Africa. They are taking this seriously serious, talking about the time. And they are even bringing out, I do a little tour in the Kemet. I had advantage to go there. They have some ratings on the wall where there are parts even they believe that was Mary and Jesus on the wall. This very old wall is, and they believe that everything in the Bible was stolen from the Kemet.
Yes.
And now they are even saying that African time or Africa calendar is also being changed.
But you don't know that one.
No, we because we are learning. I said I had advantage to go there to make a little tour about the place.
You are going, you didn't call me.
Now, this is my question. So Kemet is very important to Africans or everybody black now. So my question is this. These things are important to them. Us, we've lost it. Now, we are not making more research. It's these same people that we claim or believe stole this right from us. These are the same people who are making research and bringing out this information. How do we know whether they are bringing us the right informations? And what can we do to get the accurate informations for our future children?
That's very easy. Because the sages in the temples said they knew a time was going to come when people would try to change the informations they have left behind. These people are searching. What are they doing now? They're going down into the bottom of the Aswan Dam to bring out some of the things they have thrown back there. We had the same problem in this country called Ghana. When we built the Akosombo Dam, what did it not do to the people living around? All the historical records and agricultural developments and all were kept there. And it got flooded. Then the Canadian Prime Minister came and said he had won a contract to come and cut those trees in the lake. Cut the trees and do what with the trees? He will export. He will make money. He knows the value of those trees which have been in the belly of the Akosombo Dam. The same thing they did in Kemet or Kemer in the Southern Valley. Now they have to be lifting those things. But they knew you can cover up the history. But the sages have written in the temple walls, in the pyramid, everything. They said they wrote first. They wrote about 9 inches into the wall. And they plastered it. So when you have come and you have taken the surface information